Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Anniebae a nurse from Zambia. If you're a returning subscriber, I said thank you so much for returning. And if you're a new subscriber, I say thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel. Hope you're going to like what you hear. You're going to like the information that we are going to hear today. Without wasting your time, I promised yesterday to say today we're going to look into cholera, so I'll just go direct into the condition. So we're going to define cholera. We're going to say the incubation period, we're going to say the causative organism, we're going to say the pathophysiology, we're going to say the signs and symptoms, we're going to manage this patient with cholera, we're going to say some treatments, we're going to say the prevention measures, we're going to say the predisposing factors, and we are going to say the complications. As a last segment, we're going to say complications of cholera. So without wasting your time, here is the definition. Let's define cholera. So, cholera is defined into many ways according to different tutors, different schools, different people, different understanding. Everyone is going to define cholera in his or her own way. So me, I'm going to define cholera according to my understanding. Yes. So when you're defining a condition, there are two cardinal things that you shouldn't left out: the causative organism of that condition and the signs and symptoms, direct signs and symptoms of that condition. What I mean by direct signs and symptoms of that condition, there are symptoms like headache. In cholera, headache. It might be there, but it's not a cardinal sign, and it's not a cardinal sign. You can say this one has cholera because there are other people who come with headaches, and it's not cholera. So there are cardinal signs and symptoms that's supposed to include in your definitions. So I'm going to define cholera in my own understanding. Yes, let's begin. So definition: cholera is an acute infectious disease caused by Vibrio cholerae, characterized by rice water diarrhea, vomiting, muscle cramps, and severe dehydration. I'll read that again. Cholera is defined as an acute infectious disease caused by Vibrio cholerae, characterized by rice water diarrhea, projectile vomiting, muscle cramps, and severe dehydration. To me, that's the definition for cholera. You can write what you remember easily in exams or in your test. To me, that's the definition. Incubation period. So cholera as an incubation period is not just something that you're going to do and then you do better. So once someone ingests something which is contaminated, which might be food or water or other stuffs, there is an incubation period for Vibrio cholerae to start its normal functioning in the body. So it takes few hours to 5 days. That is the incubation period. So someone can ingest contaminated water today, and few hours from this time, from mild diarrhea, says, stomach upset, goes to the toilet, it's diarrhea. up to diarrhea and diarrhea and diarrhea. So, or someone can ingest contaminated food today, and after 3 days, then signs and symptoms come: diarrhea, 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 projectile vomiting, diarrhea, 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 just like that. So the incubation period is from few hours to 5 days. Mode of transmission is through your mouth, through ingestion of contaminated food. So the mode of transmission is through your mouth to the intestines. So the the organism which causes cholera, it's Vibrio cholerae. There are there are a lot of Vibrios, but this one is Vibrio cholerae. How can you know to say this is Vibrio cholerae? A Vibrio cholerae is a non-spore forming organism. It's a coma shaped. It's a gram negative. It's a motor organism. It swings or it moves. It's motor organism, and then it's a aerobic. It's aerobic. That organism causes cholera. So we go to the predisposing factors: drinking contaminated water, yes, drinking unsafe water, unwashed food, uncovered food, cold food, yes, uh, no proper disposal of waste. All those can predispose you to cholera, because when you have like and self disposal of waste, you're just throwing things in out and out, and then these flies will come sit on those dirty things you're throwing, and then they sit on the food, and then you eat, you get it. So those are the predisposing factors. So from the predisposing factors, I'm going to explain about the pathophysiology. I pray you get something. I pray you get something. So I've summarized this pathophysiology in such a way that it's easy to remember. It's easy to remember. In case it came in an exam and you need to write the pathophysiology of cholera, I hope you remember this. If you can't remember what your tutors gave you, please try to remember this. try to remember this. So I'm going to read through what I wrote. So the pathophysiology or pathogenesis for cholera goes: following the ingestion of Vibrio cholerae through contaminated water or food, the Vibrio cholerae will enter the body through the mouth and goes into the intestines. It remains in the gut and does not penetrate into the bloodstream. It adheres to the mucosal lining of the small intestines, and by both alters membrane protein and flagellar adhesion. So, the Vibrio cholerae produces enterotoxins that causes excessive fluid and electrolytes loss. Sodium chloride absorption is inhibited and therefore secreted, resulting in two water sodium chloride and potassium and bicarbonate loss, which will come out in form of diarrhea and vomiting. I'll read through again, please. Then I'm going to explain. So following the ingestion of Vibrio cholerae through the contaminated water or food, the Vibrio cholerae will enter your body or the body through the mouth and goes to the small intestines. It remains in the gut and it does not penetrate into the bloodstream. It adheres to the mucosal lining of the small intestines, and by both alters the membrane protein and flagellar adhesion. Vibrio cholerae produces enterotoxins that causes excessive fluid and electrolyte loss. Sodium chloride absorption is inhibited and therefore secreted, resulting in water sodium chloride and potassium bicarbonate loss, which will come out in form of diarrhea. So what they are trying to say is when you ingest contaminated food or contaminated water which contains the Vibrio cholerae, this organism will go into your small intestines. It's going to attach itself into the lining mucosa of the small intestines. When it attaches there, it's going to secrete its poisonous toxins, which is enterotoxins. These enterotoxins will alter the protein, the membrane protein and the flagellar adhesion, the membrane protein of the lining mucosa. So the absorption of sodium chloride, potassium bicarbonate, it's going to be altered. Instead of the body absorbing those things, the body will not absorb those things. Hence, they will be secreted in a watery form, which is the rice water diarrhea, which the patient is going to have. So they will be secreted into watery form, and the patient will present with the rice water diarrhea and the Cooper's rice water diarrhea and the vomiting. So they will be coming out in form of diarrhea, and this upper GIT, they will be coming out in form of vomiters or vomiting. So that was very easy to remember, that was very easy. So that's all about the 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 pathophysiology. The moment you ingest, it attaches to the lining because of the small intestines, releases toxin that will cause or will inhibit the absorption of sodium chloride, potassium bicarbonate, which will come out in form of diarrhea. Thank you. So having said of the pathophysiology, we're going to say the signs and symptoms of cholera. The signs and symptoms we've said in the pathophysiology to say there will be rice water diarrhea. So it will be mild to acute onset of rice water diarrhea. There will be projectile vomiting. This projectile vomiting is not vomiting from here, but it's from here to there. So there'll be vomiting. So there will be severe dehydration, there will be muscle cramps, there will be hypovolemic shock due to excessive loss of fluid and electrolytes. So let's manage our patient. So management should have aim. What are you aiming at? We are aiming to rescue this patient. So the aim is to correct the fluid loss and the electrolyte imbalance. The aim is to correct the fluid loss and electrolyte imbalance, to eliminate the causative organism, to prevent the spread of the infection, to prevent the spread of infection and to prevent complication. Investigations, we are going to do history taking. Yes, where is the patient coming from? Because epidemiology, cholera is common in poor people. Yes, due to poor sanitation, poor waste disposal. So history taking, then we are going to do stool for microscopy, culture and sensitivity. Also, we can do vomiters for microscopy, culture and sensitivity. We can do the dark field microscopy that will show the movement of Vibrio cholerae. So the dark field microscopy will show the characteristic of denting the movement of UV blockade. So treatments, fluid of choice, we're going to give intravenous fluid, and the fluid of choice will be Ringer's lactate. Ringer's lactate. Then we're going to give normal saline. In severe dehydration, you give Ringer's lactate, 30 ml per kg body weight. Yes, I'm saying 30 ml per kg body weight. Yes, so different body weights, different amount of fluid. So we're going to give 30 ml per kg body weight as rapidly as possible. Then we'll give in the next 30 minutes, and then 1 hour, and then 2 hours, then 24 hours. As we give these fluids, we're going to monitor vital signs for almost every 30 minutes for the patient. And then if there's sign of circulatory overload, and then we can slow the rate of the flow. Then we're going to monitor the urine output, because as we put in much fluids, let's monitor the urine output, which is 30 to 40 ml per hour. Yeah, 30 to 40 ml per hour. So we're going to monitor the urine output. And then the drugs, we can give tetracycline, we can give doxycycline, we can give cotrimoxazole, we can give ciprofloxacin, we can give erythromycin. So I'll go through the drugs. Let's give tetracycline, we can give erythromycin, we can give cotrimoxazole, we can give ciprofloxacin, and doxycycline. Prevention, for cholera, proper disposal of waste, and then improve water supply and sanitation, then personal hygiene. Then we can also change of attitudes, wash hands after the toilet, wash hands, cover your food, drink safe water, boil water before you drink them. So those are the prevention. The complications, we can have someone with cholera can have acute renal failure. So there is renal failure, there's hypovolemic shock. I mean, yes. Then there's hyperglycemia. There's hypoglycemia. There is also pulmonary edema. Then there's muscle weakness. This person will be just weak. Muscle weakness. So it's from the definition: signs and symptoms, complications, pathophysiology, and the management. Next time we're going to we're going to discuss about malaria. So please don't forget to invite others. Knowledge and knowledge shared is knowledge. What do they say? They say something about knowledge shared is knowledge what. So let's invite others, please, to subscribe on the channel. Hope you like what you've heard. If you have any question, please drop the questions in the comment section. Drop the questions in the comment section. Drop the question into the comment section if you have any questions. If you like, please like it. Please turn on your notification bell. Turn on your notification bell so that you'll be the first one to know each time I post a new video. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to invite others. Tomorrow we are into malaria. Please come on, and God bless you. Good night.